Too bad, too bad, too bad. Joe Biden will pass on to history after 47 years as a congressman, senator, as a U.S. citizen, as a given for free presidency, as a remuneration for 47 years of corruption, theft, abuse of power, political influencing, no arm's length transaction, dereliction of duty, and every other thing possible. I hear Joe Biden today, as they call him, President Joe Biden. For what? Joe Biden comes from a large slave owner family. Joe Biden's family, father, grandfather, great-grandfather were Confederates that fought the Union Army of Lincoln and fought against the principles of Frederick Douglass, who fought and recommended to Lincoln to free the slaves. They fought against emancipation of slaves. Joe Biden has continued that legacy. He's a liar, continues to be a liar, continues to be a corrupt China spy, because if you go to China with your son on taxpayers' dollar, you're embezzling funds from the taxpayers of this country for your trip with your son as a front man to Ukraine, to China, to get contracts in the multi-billions of millions of dollars, okay? And then today, you get compensated by being a nobody, because that's what you really have been. You know, you've been a supporting second place man for nothing. You wrote and sponsored the crime bill, responsible for imprisoning millions of black men and brown men in this country. You're a supporter, sponsor. That was 1994. You also sponsor, supported the white powder bill that further criminalized blacks and browns. And today you talk about even Kamala Harris, who is an immoral, because I would never stand next to you, that fought desegregation. You voted against busing and desegregation of our schools. You're corrupt, Joe. You got a granite face to stand on our national television and talk about the high rates of unemployment in the black and brown communities, the lack of medical service. You've been in Congress for 47 years. You just had 8 years with Obama. You were the co-author of all the camps, internments, all the prisons, the deportation of 3 million undocumented. You guys were deporting Latin Americans by the millions, while you wanted to bring 100,000 Syrian refugees, terrorists, that to bring them into the nation to further destroy this nation. You see this, Joe? I was a candidate for state representative 2016. I am now a proud Republican because of you, because you're a corrupt thief. You and your front man, drug addict son, traveling to China in the vice president taxpayers airplane, to collect a $1,500 million contract. You, Schumer, McConnell, a bunch of corrupts. McConnell's China spy wife, Elaine Chao, she was the transportation secretary for President Trump. She and McConnell got a $5 million gift from her communist government members of China, the Chao family, and they got contracts to build 4 ships for their corporation between China Chow and McConnell. No wonder you guys, this is a corruption to the hilt, you know. Anyways, just wanted to leave a comment that for 47 years you did nothing but destroy our nation. You did nothing for the blacks and browns. And what you did do was that again you're back with 100 days. Your 100 days. You and Obama promised the Hispanic community in this nation undocumented. Immigration legislation in the first 100 days of Biden-Obama presidency. You spent 8 years there and never put a bill on the floor of the House or the Senate to correct the last quarter century of injustice to the undocumented. No due process, no nothing. You built the camps, the chain link fences. You Bill Clinton 1995 address to Congress, a State of the Union address, was the father of mass deportation. He was the one that started building the wall. Bill Clinton and the Democrats are the father of the wall, the fathers of the Ku Klux Klan, you know, and your family was members of the Ku Klux Klan, of the Confederate Army. What are you talking about, yo? Get out of there, you stutterer piece of shit. And farther, I hear you glorifying George Floyd. That was a very unfortunate death for George. But you know what? I'm surprised he didn't get blasted away before. You know, George Floyd was a career criminal. Home invader with a shotgun put to the stomach of a expectant lady in a home of expecting that they were drug trafficking. You know, he wasn't praying at the church. You know, he was passing bad bills. He had just come out of prison for 5 years for armed robbery and all the crimes all his life and career. Are we responsible for that, Joe? You're responsible for that, Joe, for lying, for being a liar, corrupt politician for 47 years, doing nothing for the community you are lying to get them to support you. Get out of there. You know, you're too old and too piece of shit to be our president. And your Kamala Harris vice president, you know what? She's just as bad as you, glorifying on the radio program and smoking pot, and then she makes a joke because of the Clinton reference of, oh yeah, I smoke pot and I inhale. Even her father felt shame for that Kamala Harris that bought her seat, you know, probably with several $1 million, because that nomination didn't go for free to nobody. That way went to the best payer, you know. Kamala's dignified father was a shame, put to shame, to hear his daughter glorifying that she was Jamaican descent, and because she was Jamaican descent, and now all Jamaicans are drug addicts, pot smokers. You know, get a life, Joe. You know, your drug addict son, that's what you should be talking about. You should be talking about the people like your son, like George Floyd et al., you know, should not be on the street committing crimes, and then you're sponsoring your son to commit crimes, because being part of Burisma in Ukraine, getting, $50,000, $100,000 a month. Not even the president of Ukraine gets that kind of money, and you traveling around the world collecting money, you know, on the taxpayers. Air Force too. What a bunch of crooks. I'm glad that Trump stopped Pelosi. Pelosi used to traveling around the world, reserving Air Force airplanes to take her family on vacation, the whole family on vacation tours around the world. You're all a bunch of trash, man. Bunch of trash. You're a bunch of crooks. a hard-working American making $7 or $8 an hour, has to work 30 years to make less than $500,000, and you guys go to China and get $1,500 million on a flight over? For what? Because your drug addict son and rehab is a super smart guy about what? Come on. You all should all be in prison. That's what you do. You need to be prosecuted. You need to be investigated. We need to do a forensic audit of all of you and your family finances. You're a bunch of crooks. That Pelosi, daughter of the Alessandro, congressman, mafia attorney, descarados, you whole bunch of corrupts, Now, you talk about Pelosi lives in a $8 million home while she has 100,000 homeless in her district in San Francisco with her corrupt nephew, governor of California. Don't talk to me, man. Jesus Christ. Get out of there, Joe.